Next, Under the Lights.
We built for this zero. This is what we built for.
The big game takes us to Edgewater, where Eagles walk.
Defense, physical brand of ball. That's how you're gonna show love.
Homecoming love is in the air.
All night long, baby.
All night.
It's never too early to talk about playoffs. Northeast plays on without their captain.
We all have a job to do to achieve our goal tonight.
The legacy of Quez.
Keep our angel with us.
Number 4 is everywhere.
The team that hits the hardest, the longest wins the football game. Y'all with me?
Yes, sir. That's how we do it. 1, 2, 3, man!
Hi there, it's great to see you. I'm Dave Aizer.
And I'm Kailey Mizelle. Welcome to Under the Lights, Florida High School Football Final, driven by Honda.
We've got a ton of games to get to, and we are covering the entire state, going coast to coast.
We start with our #1 ranked Lakeland Dreadnoughts. Lakeland toting a 21-game winning streak hosting Strawberry Crest. The Chargers back to punt, but the Dreadnoughts block it, leading to a safety. Trivia time, Dave. How many points is a safety worth?
2.
Wrong. When you have Arian Smith returning kicks, a 2-point play turns into 8 points as Smith takes the rock all the way to the end zone, then makes it a 10-point play as he picks up the 2-point conversion. Lakeland scored on a pass, 2 runs, a safety, a kickoff return, and an interception in just the first quarter.
Carroll City with a brutal schedule to start the season, taking on second-ranked St. Thomas. Carroll City scored first, and the St. Thomas crowd was a touch nervous, but the Raiders answered with a Jaden Henry 6-yard touchdown. Then, Jaden McBarrows a pass and scores on a pick 6 for the 3rd game in a row. Hey, here's an idea. Stop throwing at him. He's pretty good. Also, you shouldn't take too long when punting when he's around. McBurrows blocks the punt, leads to a touchdown. St. Thomas wins 45-24.
Third-ranked Columbia Tigers taking on the winless Gainesville Hurricanes first quarter. Landrick Bradley takes the handoff to the end zone, 7-0 Tigers. Jordan Smith finds future USF teammate Marquez Bell for a 5-yard touchdown pass. 41-14 the final as the Tigers move to 5-0.
Berlin Jesuit ready to rumble in the Traz against 4th-ranked Miami Central. Future Kane Don Chaney Jr. gets Berlin on the board as he just punishes the defender on the goal line. 7-zip Wolverines. Central's Catravis Marsh can beat you with his arm and his legs. Great fake, and he's rumbling down the sideline for 41 yards and a touchdown. Later, Marsh hands off to Juan Henry. He finds a crease up the middle, and nobody's going to bring him down. He's one of the stars on this team, and he scores. Big game for Marsh. He lit it up in the air, firing multiple touchdown passes. Central improves to 5-1 as they win 38-14. Last week, Eric Esteban helped us get to the bottom of the referee standoff. Well, he's joining us again, along with Larry Bluestein, to navigate the troubled waters ahead for the new RPI computer rankings.
Before it was Hurricanes, before it was officials, it was a new computer ranking RPI system that determines how high school football teams are getting to the playoffs. It's kind of the talk of the town. Now, back in our day, used to be wins, losses, point systems, what happens on this field, and the eyeball test. But now there's a new formula. Larry, break it down for us. What are folks saying about it?
Well, Eric, first of all, they had the last couple of years it went on the point system, and 2 years ago when Booker T thought it was like you got to play the toughest schedule you can. We're going to take the best teams in the country and we're going to in South Florida and play them, and then we'll get more points. But that's not how it worked. A lot of these teams are so quick to give up games, like during the Hurricane and in Jacksonville area and in South Florida, where it's going to be key because you need every game possible at the end of the year to calculate for playoffs. Okay, so let's say 1, 2, 3, 4 is going to be occupied by district winners.
Sure.
But it's the 5, 6, 7, and 8 that really is the slotting that counts. So let's take Plantation for an example. Most likely they won't win the district because St. Thomas Aquinas is in that district.
Correct.
So you figure what Plantation needs to do is play every game so you could get to that 5th slot. So because if all of a sudden they fall down to the 7 or 8, then they have to play St. Thomas Aquinas right off the bat instead in the 2nd round or perhaps the 3rd round. So that's why it's important.
I want to thank Larry for coming with us here under the lights. Be sure to stay tuned for more. Kailey, David, we throw it back to you.
Thanks, Eric. 8th-ranked Armwood hosting unbeaten Wiregrass Ranch. Armwood safety Amaris Brown jumps the route and returns the pick 32 yards for the touchdown. 14-3, and Dave, Armwood had a fever. They needed more foghorns. This time, Eric Wilson dancing through the players for the score. And Amaris Brown also had a fever. The only cure, more picks, and he got them. Hawks leading 35-3. Later in the third, Charles Montgomery finds a hole and goes 40 yards. All cylinders firing for Armwood, 48-3 the final.
Well, when you see a kid do that, we just have to roll out the sponsor and paint a picture. 2 pick sixes and a fumble recovery for Amaris Brown. You pick which one of those is our Vico Defensive Player of the Week. By the way, Brown had 7 picks last year. He's hoping to get 8 this year to get his name on the board in the weight room. Have a day, number 4.
He has that potential to be phenomenal, and you have 2 pick sixes in a game and score some points on the defensive side of the ball, you take that.
It really got me hyped because I know sometimes, as you've seen, our offense can struggle sometimes, but, the defense always win a football game. So, we got to make plays, and when we make plays, they get hyped, and then they score, then we all hype.
Just getting warmed up. Still a bunch of teams in our top 25 to showcase.
And to see the action again and again, make sure you follow us on Twitter at Fox Sports FL.
Get ready to ball out. Wekiva and Edgewater is still to come. And we release the top 25. Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Advent Health. Our goal is to help you feel whole. And by the Florida Lottery. It's your ticket. Claim it.
The North Miami Beach Chargers took on the American Heritage Patriots in the district opener for both schools. And Kailey, there was a lot of buzz in this one because North Miami Beach came in at 3-1, while Heritage came in at 4-1. Let's see who would improve their record. The Patriots came storming out of the tunnel and right onto the field, and they kept on running and running. How about Mark Fletcher? He may just be a freshman, but he proved he belongs under the bright lights. The tailback ran for 107 yards and got a big chunk of it on this nifty 55-yard touchdown. But the Chargers fought back. Lamar Jackson scores here from 5 yards out. He would also catch the 2-point conversion, and NMB led 8-7. In the end, though, too much Heritage defense. The Patriots picked off 6 passes, and they win by the final score of 31-8.
11th ranked Rockledge headed over to Port Orange to take on the Atlantic Sharks, where excellence is not compromised. A battle of the unbeaten. Rockledge was most excellent on the field. Ladarius Tennyson with a 30-yard swim through the Shark defense. 41-0.
The Milton Panthers hosting the 13th ranked and undefeated Escambia Gators, and the Gators flashed huge plays, including a 45-yard passing TD, a 75-yard punt return TD, and this Frank Peasant 55-yard rushing touchdown. Gators win 22-15 and stay undefeated.
And speaking of that punt return, we have to show it to you guys. Escambia's DT Gideon is our Advent Health return of the week, and you can see why. His touchdown makes it 21-7 Escambia.
The 17th ranked Jones Tigers at the Leesburg Yellow Jackets. Check out that savage hit by the defense. Ouch. Well, this one was all Jones. They dominated on D, and they also had some fun on the offensive side of the ball. In all, Jones scored 8 touchdowns. They missed some conversions, and they rolled 53-0.
18th ranked Seminole taking on Westport. Huddle video here. This is what the coaches see, guys. Seminole is for real. They hung on 47 on the Wolfpack. East Bay traveling to 22 Tampa Bay Tech. First quarter, Titans are at the 10. David Wright airs it out to Dante Harris. 90 yards and a score right through 4 touchdowns. Rushed for a 5th in the 51-8 win over the Indians.
23rd ranked Atlantic hosting Olympic Heights. Thank you, WPEC, for the footage. Your camera operator must have been exhausted because Atlantic Heights scored a lot. They scored on the ground, they scored in the air, they even scored on defense. Eagles pitching a shutout and busting the scoreboard lights. Final score 62-0.
2-1 Vanguard hosting 4-0 North Marion. Thanks to WCJB for the video. Third quarter, North Marion fumbles the ball. Knights recover with 8 minutes left. Gyron Papa Gilmore takes it up the middle 50 yards. The Knights hand North Marion their first loss, 18-14. Gaither hosting the Falcons. Cowboys' Tony Bartello hits Draylen Speedy Pittman for the 27-yard touchdown pass, 12-3. After blanking in the first quarter, Gaither puts up 41 in the second and never looks back, winning 54-3.
FloridaHSFootball.com top 25 doesn't have much movement this week. That just means our man Josh Wilson has them ranked accordingly. You're looking at the top 10 here. American Heritage has a big one this week. They're sitting at 9, and they're going to face Gibbons, who's at 14.
Lakeland doesn't look like it will get tested until the playoffs, and I know you saw St. Thomas firsthand. They look pretty solid.
Very solid.
Columbia had a pretty good win. Edgewater will have more about them in 10 minutes. It's halftime, but there's still a lot of pigskin to cover.
And for all the latest in high school football, visit utlflorida.com.
Coming up, who's getting helmet stickers and homecoming traditions at Edgewater? Under the Lights is driven by Honda. Visit your local Honda dealer today. By Vico Painting Contractors, a commercial painting company that delivers top quality work and excellent customer satisfaction. And by Orlando Health, a not-for-profit network of leading community hospital.
Northeast High School senior Jaquez Welch impacted everyone he came into contact with. His energy, determination, and work ethic are all things he'll be remembered for. Welch was taken off life support last Monday after he collapsed in a game against Osceola. He had a rare condition called arteriovenous malformation, causing his brain to bleed. This week, his family, friends, teammates, and community honored everything Welch stood for in his short time here. The loss of Jaquez Welch, or Quez as his friends called him, blindsided the Northeast community. His absence hung on the team as they prepared for their game this week.
It's been hard because we lost a valuable soul to this team in the school world. One word I could describe about him is perseverance. He's the hardest working player on that team.
Banded together, the Vikings went to work, preparing for Dixie Hollins, with first place in District 8 of Class 6A on the line.
Quez on three, 1, 2, 3, Quez!
And it wasn't just Northeast. Dixie Hollins prepared a pregame tribute to Welch, led by Coach Dale Capriso and Jameer West.
We had to play a football game, play it for our brother. Thank you for letting us all wake up to see another day. Keep our angel with us as we take the field tonight, Lord. I pray to you and I say amen.
Amen. Quez loved football. In his final game, he scored on a 60-yard touchdown in the first 3 minutes of the game. In his memory, the Vikings and Rebels took the field. The Vikings in their first drive as the sun sets. Quarterback Jake Spencer has time, goes deep to Laquel Humphreys for the huge gain, and the Vikings punch it in within the first few minutes of the game. But the Northeast coaching staff knew this would be a tough battle without their best player. Isaiah Fashion nabs the deep ball as the Rebels take District 8, defeating Northeast 42-14. The Vikings lost the game, but played their hearts out.
When it got time to play football, they played football, both sides.
Proving the legacy of Quez will never die. In Jaquez Welch's name, a scholarship fund of $5,000 will be awarded to a Northeast football player each year who best exemplifies Welch's qualities. And Quez's legacy is even bigger than football. His mom announced they're donating his organs, and doctors told her his life could save as many as 7.
And the Tampa region is doing everything it can to support Northeast. Clearwater Central Catholic had these shirts made up honoring the legacy of number 4 before their game against the Tornadoes. Plenty of love for Jaquez Welch from the fans, from the cheerleaders, and from the players on both teams. And this turned out to be a great football game filled with big plays, including this sensational punt return by the Tornadoes' Markavian Jeter. It was a back-and-forth contest that went to overtime, and the Marauders overcame this return, and they pulled it out, winning 48-42.
Tampa Bay Catholic taking on 4-0 Berkeley Prep. D'Angelo DJ Taylor catches the punt return and takes it back 85 yards. But Berkeley Prep's 21-point first half was too much for the Crusaders. 21-16, Berkeley stays undefeated.
The DeLand Bulldogs hosting the Spruce Creek Hawks in a district matchup of two 2-1 teams. Bulldog QB Jaden Nerschel throws a deep ball to Charles Bradley, who makes a sweet juggling catch. Well done. Spruce Creek, though, showed plenty of fight. Marvin Scott III, he takes the handoff, hits the hole, and he's running hard. And Kailey, the only guy who can trip him up is him. But he scores anyway. Too much Nerschel, though. The DeLand QB had a big day. This time he hits Cam Miller, and DeLand wins 26-14.
Flagler Palm Coast traveling to University, hosting in their new stadium for the first time. Third quarter, Preston Roberts to Tyshawn Blunt for the touchdown, 31-7 Bulldogs. Later, Jalen Brown with the carry makes it 31-13. Flagler Palm Coast ground game has juice. Chris Parks gets loose, headed to the house. 38-13, Bulldogs win.
The 5-0 Niceville Eagles versus the 3-2 Navarre Raiders. Thank you, Ware TV, for the footage. Niceville QB Will Koch keeps it and does the damage himself as he opened the scoring with this 22-yard touchdown run. Marlon Courtney III says, okay, I feel you, but check this out. Watch me do this. Jaden Antonio is what we like to call wide open. Wow. Now back to Koch. Forget the throw. Check out this incredible catch by Dominic Anachiarico. I have a feeling we might see that again. Niceville wins 20-7.
Our Orlando Health Catch of the Week shows the skills of Anachiarico. What a catch. That is our Orlando Health Catch of the Week.
Third quarter's in the books. Fourth quarter is next. Kailey, hold them up.
I got you, and we got you when it comes to all the highlights and action. Use the hashtag UTLFlorida to stay in the loop.
Still to come, we save the best for last. The Wekiva and Edgewater battle in our big game feature. The Florida Lottery Pick 4 Player of the Week is Keith Walker. Keith caught 4 passes for 194 yards with 3 touchdowns in one half of play.
Here's a look at this week's Florida Lottery Pick 4 top performances. A couple of top performances from the QB position, 1 running back, and a cornerback. Getting her done.
Dave, what are you doing?
I'm voting. Hashtag UTL Florida, right?
Dave, that's for them. And so are these highlights.
Oh.
Pahokee Blue Devils visiting Trinity Christian. Blue Devils' Jermaine Robinson totes the rock to the end zone for the score, but that was their only one. Trinity's Isaiah Faison makes the catch, and he does get a foot down as Trinity Christian stomps Pahokee 42-7. Oakleaf traveled to Sandalwood for the showdown, and your guy Manny Diaz shows up, Dave. Knights, Chance Williams in the Wildcat, normally known for his defensive skills. Oakleaf leads 30-14. They go on to win 37-22.
Gotta love seeing Manny Diaz. Big game in South Florida as the 2-2 Columbus Explorers hosted the 4-0 Miami Stingarees in a district battle. It was a huge performance by Henry Parrish. The Pittsburgh commit had 136 yards rushing and 2 rushing TDs plus an 11-yard touchdown reception. Parrish and his teammates sting the Stingarees 45-18.
For this week's big game feature, we ended up at Edgewater to see 2 unbeaten teams, 21st ranked Wekiva and 5th ranked Edgewater. When Edgewater's head coach Cameron Duke took over in 2016, they went 1-10. Now players have complete buy-in, and all it took was some love for the game and the kids.
Edgewater High School was built back in the early 1950s. Named after the street it sits upon. A storied football program that is still chasing its first state championship trophy. Homecoming week means a parade down Edgewater Drive. The opponent, the Wekiva Mustangs. Both programs coming in at 5-0.
All night long, baby.
All night.
All night.
All night.
Oh, yes, sir, son. Hey, AD, you about the ball, dude.
After warm-ups, it's time for some coach speak.
What an opportunity we have to play a great team in our own district. Tonight is homecoming. I want our alumni, I want our district, and I want our state to know something different about Edgewater. What that difference is how much we love one another. You guys understand that? I love you, men. I love every single one of you. That's what this program is built on, and it's time to let everyone see it. Eagle, let's go.
Then, an Edgewater tradition, the Eagle Walk.
Hey, go play play for one another. Y'all with me? Yes, sir.
The team takes the field through a red fog, a warning sign, perhaps. On the third play from scrimmage, Kanan Mobley's pass finds its way into the hands of Kendall Wilson, who promptly marches to an early 7-0 lead. With the red haze still lingering, Edgewater's Anthony Whedon gives Wekiva another gift in the form of a fumble. The Mustangs convert the mistake to points. Brendan Sear places the ball into Harleante Reed's hands to make it 14-0. The Mustangs were firing on all cylinders. Sear connects with Jamon Coleman on 4th down. He races 45 yards for the score, making it 21-7 Wekiva. The football gods give and take. This time, Edgewater's DJ Hampton, the beneficiary of the Mustang snap mistake. 40 yards on the scoop and score, and it's tied at 21. The score meant that the funk that Edgewater played with in the first quarter was over with. The Fighting Eagles chose their queen at the half and awarded her with 24 points in the third quarter. In the end, it was the work of the team, led by the Connolly brothers. Senior Isaiah Connolly broke through the Wekiva defense for 2 touchdowns. The second run is what he silenced the crowd with, and what he called grown man running. Younger brother Jeremiah is the definition of yak, yards after catch. Cameron Duke's Fighting Eagles balled out, showing love all over the field, winning 52-21 to remain the team to beat in Orlando.
The 4-0 Benjamin Buccaneers hosting the American Heritage Stallions. Thank you, WPEC, for the footage, and thank you, Heritage running back Tyler Willis, for this awesome highlight. He had 2 rushing touchdowns on the day. Now, Benjamin's QB Santino Marucci with the quarterback keeper for the score, but Willis's second touchdown iced it. The Stallions beat the Bucs 20-13. Time to give out some helmet stickers to players who had monster weeks. And thank you to Rydell for providing the helmets. Kailey, you're up first.
Well, I would call this a monster. Sophomore quarterback Zach Tanner for Discovery had 8 touchdown passes, over 500 yards in their 51-34 win over Avon Park. Sir, you get a helmet sticker.
Okay, you went quarterback. I'm going running back. I'm going Kaiwan Herndon from Trinity Christian. Let's just call him Mr. Efficiency. He only had 8 carries. Doesn't matter. He got 220 yards. Well done. Way to ramble. Great game.
Well, that is it for us today. Thank you so much for watching.
This is Under the Lights, Florida High School Football Final, driven by Honda.